Hey, Cat man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We got a interesting conversation now after a video I made on my channel. So let's
Yeah, man, I definitely got a bone to pick with you on this one, man. Like, I was like, yo, could this be the end for the Talking Ish podcast? Find
yeah.
out now. Okay. Yeah, so there was a replay that I saw. I was kind of scrolling through the ESPN app and I saw a particular replay and I was like, dude, you gotta make a video on this. I get up this morning and I get in the car and I turn on the YouTube and I see the title of the video and I was just like, this looks questionable. But let me actually hear what he has to say instead of being like the 12% of the people that come onto his locker room channel and completely misconstrue, sometimes intentionally, what Cap is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the video and I'm like, it's about to be a problem.
So for y'all that don't know, obviously I cover hockey on my other channel. Greg gets cross-checked by Morgan Rielly after Greg decided to slap shot an empty net with like 6 seconds left of the game. It just created this whole thing. Rielly, he went off the handle a bit, cross-checked him right in the head. He went down to the ice and started to scrum. And there's been a conversation. I mean, was that cross-check justified? Was Rielly overreacting? I mean, is it a big deal that Greg just decided to, unleash a slap shot on an empty net? Now, growing up playing hockey since I was like the age of 2, right? There's certain unwritten rules that you just know, right? Like, I would put this kind of in comparison, like, baseball has a lot of the unwritten rules, even same with the NBA, right? Like, if you're up by 50, no reason why to windmill dunk on a fast break, right? For me, you just don't show up your opponent like that. So I thought Morgan Rielly's reaction, I loved it personally, because I'm like, finally, some passion from some of these players, like, that you're paying millions and millions of dollars, taking up significant amount of your cap. Like, finally, some God emotion, some heart, some soul. Now, was a little bit excessive. I mean, yes. But I did grow up in an NHL where that was kind of the norm, right? So I don't have this big, like, oh, how dare they? Like, to me, when it kind of comes down to it, like, he around and he kind of found out. That's just my personal interpretation of it. But you were like, whoa. We need to stop this white on white crime. I was like, damn.
Well, this is my position on it, right? You said F around and find out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw it back at you. How about if you're down 4-3, as Toronto was to the Ottawa Senators, you're down 4-3, and you have an empty net, which means you have the extra skater. You have possession of the puck in the offensive zone.
Mm-hmm.
It is 6-on-5. And not only do you turn the puck over, but there is nobody skating after this guy. This guy is all alone on an island. So you want to talk to me about emotion. Oh, he was emotional, and I want to see more emotion. Where was the emotion when they turned over the puck and nobody skated? Morgan Rielly didn't start skating until after the slap shot. That is not the time to start showing effort and emotion. You are supposed to be in the position you're supposed to be in. You're supposed to skate as hard as you can, slide across the ice, poke check, stick check, lift his stick, something that is going to have some sort of effect on the outcome of the game. But you wanted to use the energy you had left not to chase the guy who's basically about to get on a breakaway on all 6 of you. No, you don't want to use your emotion for that, to try to save the game. You want to use your emotion because you don't like how he shot the puck in the net. Now, you and I have had a lot of discussions about cross checks, high hits to the head, boarding, and we've had a lot of different debates about these things, right? And then you kind of helped me to understand these things. Mm-hmm. But where I think that you're off base is that when you're going to do a cross check to the head, first of all, that is the same thing as in baseball as throwing to somebody's head. if you're going to throw at somebody because they broke one of the unwritten rules, where is the pitcher supposed to try to hit the batter?
Like mid back, like lower back.
Exactly,
like,
right?
Yeah.
We don't go to the head. The dude knew where he was going. He knew he was going to the head when he didn't have to. Do you know when I would accept a cross check to the head? When one of his other guys gets boarded or some dirty hit, blind side. That's when you save that cross check to the head.
So
you don't
this
cross check to somebody's head because you don't like how they scored a goal that you allowed them to score.
So this is the one thing though, right? I did say in the video, probably could have conveyed it stronger. I love the reaction. I'll say the cross check was excessive. I would have liked, right, if Morgan Rielly, instead of cross checking, grabbed him and then started throwing some punches. And as weird as that is in hockey culture, that's far more acceptable, right?
No,
so,
I would have been somewhat okay with that.
So like me, like that's me, right?
You, because I let you score on me.
Like you make some points, but they're up 4-3. There's nobody around, Greg. And this dude decides, like, yo, I want to see how hard I can have a slap shot in a game. Like, he didn't
78 miles an hour.
He didn't need to do so. He just could have just thrown it in the net, just like throw it in the net normally, and it would have been fine. He was trying to show up his opponents. Now, I understand because I guess this is just kind of more ingrained because I played the sport growing up. It's just certain things you just don't do. And that was one of them. Like, that is one thing you just learn never to do. And I guess on
you grab them, you drop the gloves.
I agree. I mean, the cross check was excessive. Like, we're not playing WWE, like throwing chairs, like
hit them with the kendo stick.
Yeah. Like we're not doing that. I agree. I agree in that sense that it was a little bit excessive. But for a Maple Leafs team that is constantly criticized for not showing any type of emotion, because that is a thing with these Leafs, right? A lot of people complain you have a lot of players making significant money against the cap, and it just seems like at times they do not care, right? So and that's what I'm talking about. Like, I want to see more passion at least, and I agree, it should be more in the freaking game, right? Where you don't even get to that point, you're hustling, you're back checking, and that's a whole different conversation. But this could be a moment that galvanizes this team. Like, all right, guys, like, we need to kind of wake up. We're third in the Atlantic. You know, we're a very good team, but we can achieve more, especially with how much they're paying their talent up front. That's just, it's weird because I've criticized the Maple Leafs of being far too soft at times. And I think that's why they've had problems kind of, they got over the Tampa Bay Lightning and finally went past the first round last season. But when they play those teams that are going to punch you in the mouth, right, they kind of shield away. And I don't know. I just, personally, I like the reaction. I don't necessarily love the action itself, but that's what I want to see from my highest paid defenseman. I want to see some type of passion. And should it be at more appropriate times and show more passion throughout the game? Absolutely. But at least I know he cares, because that's sometimes what I question with these Toronto players. They get paid massive amount of money for NHL standards, and it seems like at times they don't care if they win or lose. They're just there for the check. So that's why I kind of liked it.
Well, I'm going to counter that because I disagree, sir. We know that, first of all, if you're the highest paid defenseman, then that means you're D1, right?
Yeah, your top pair, yeah.
Okay, your top pair, right? When you cross-check somebody to the head, and remember he takes the -1 on the goal, which means that he was supposed to be at the blue line, literally the last line of defense to be between him and the dude that scored, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So not only did he use his energy to not stop the goal itself, because if you were to tell me, finally, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they care. They lost 5-3 on an empty net goal that they should never have let in the first place. You can't tell me, oh, they care about winning as you start a fight when the game is out of reach and over. That's number one. Number two, if you would have went up to the guy, grabbed him around the collar, we're going to drop these gloves, let the referees, go back to the dressing room, right? We're going to have it out as UFC time. I would have respected that more, but now you're in a situation where you get a 2, 5, 7 game suspension handed down from the league. Okay, now you're not going to be allowed to call up somebody from the AHL because it's due to suspension. So now you messed up your first pairing on defense for the next however many games. You now messed up the second pairing for your defense for however many games. And then you're basically either going to have to use a forward to pair with a defenseman for your third line if you're going to use it at all.
No. So they have 7 defense. Like they'll be fine.
They'll have
7. They'll have a defenseman fill, and they're not going to really have to be stuck with a forward.
But you get what I'm saying? Like you just sacrificed the defense for future games on a game that you already lost, defending a play that hurt none of your players. It doesn't help your team win.
So if we're just gonna take it in a vacuum, I agree with you. He's taking himself out of games. It was dumb to cross-check him. I'm not completely disagreeing with that. I love the reaction of it. Stated time to show passion. The problem is that this Maple Leaf team has this, overarching look that they're soft. And
they still look soft.
I get that. I mean,
listen, energy during the game. I feel like I'm in Wario world right now with you, Cap. Like, where was that emotion and passion to win the game?
I mean, listen, I think should you lose to a team like Ottawa? Nope. And especially for the Maple Leafs and you have that much talent? Nope, shouldn't happen. Now, and I have a problem with some of Ottawa's players. I mean, not just Greig. I mean, that is what it is. But I mean, Tim Stützle, he plays hockey like a soccer player. He's flopping all over the place, and it gets old watching it.
Don't they get penalties for that now?
Yeah, they used to. They don't really give embellishments anymore.
I think a Ranger player, if I'm not mistaken, either drew one or he was called for one very early in this season.
So, like, for me, when it kind of comes down to it, bro, and we'll let the audience decide, I think the cross-check was bad. I like the passion. Should have come a better place? Absolutely. But maybe this is a moment they look back like, all right, guys, like we need to kind of start actually showing some type of heart out here. Because that is what you question sometimes at least. Do they have the heart? Do they have the passion? Personally, I think the head coach, Sheldon Keefe, is kind of...
on the hot seat.
Yeah, I think you should probably look for an upgrade. I think you should get more out of that core. So let's ask the fans. Do you think this cross-check was egregious? Do you think it was wrong? Do you think it was stupid? Or do you think, hey, finally a little bit of heart for the Maple Leafs? Let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. We here at TSP, we're a black-owned business, and we're bridging the racial gap day by day. If you want to support racial equality, you hit that subscribe button, you like and you comment down below. Because there's no black on white, white on black crime here. It's just black on white and white on black unity. So I'm Captain Paul.
No, this video was anything but unity. You want to talk about a team that was soft for 59 minutes and 54 seconds of a 60-minute game, and now you want to say they showed some heart with 5.7 seconds left.
You can't talk on white issues.